Woo woo! Hello, everybody. I am Jillian Sakovitz alongside my best friend, Susanna Collins. Welcome into the call-up. We have officially watched some MLS.
We back, baby.
You summed it up so well before we kicked onto the air. There were some bad games. There were some good games. There were some great games. And there were some great goals, including 2 from our guy, Chicharito. And it's soccer's back, baby.
Oh my God. It was just like, I just felt like I could exhale, you know, it was like, oh, here we are. And like some games were more exciting than others, but that is to be expected when we're talking about MLS. But there were just some awesome moments, and it just made me so happy that this season has officially started. We're back in full swing. We have games that matter to talk about. It just feels good, Jill. It feels really good.
It really does feel good. And now we are looking ahead to week 2. Can you believe it? It was a 125-day off season, and now it is coming at you thick and fast.
Let's go. Let's
All
go.
Right.
Bring it on.
Here for this. Okay, first up, I mean, Inter Miami, before the game even started, there was like a pre-party, which I was like, MLS teams have like night before parties since when?
Are we shocked?
Victoria Beckham, Pharrell, Kim Kardashian. I'm like, does she know she's at an MLS pre-party? Does she? Or is like she at like, and it's not to insult her intelligence, but like, would she have signed up for that? Or is she just like, oh, David and Victoria are having an event in Miami?
I think she just sees those 2 names and is like, check. Okay. Like we're good. We're good. I feel like for Kim K, like maybe the soccer is a little bit secondary.
Don't think she went to the game. But she went to
thought. But
she went to the pre-party. Some people who did go to the game, of course, were David and Victoria.
Of course.
Tom Brady also on hand, which I have thoughts on. I don't need you. Does that mean Tom Brady? You really disappointed me last season. No. Yeah, you won a Super Bowl, but you know what? I don't think you put on the best. I don't think he really put on the best example for the youth. Just when every other one of his teammates all freaking season was getting off the bus wearing masks and he wasn't. And you know what? Forever, I will hold that against him. Sorry, I'm a little sour on it.
Listen, that's fine. Listen, people hate Tom Brady for
but I don't.
For many reasons, and that is actually like a valid one. So,
and I never felt strongly about the guy. I respected everything, like the clean eating, the competitor, the this, the that, and then like that just went from wherever to, you know what, dude?
You got a platform, bro.
Be better. Be better. People are watching. Not everyone can buy plasma and buy things to keep their health up. So be better, Tom Brady. Anyway,
he looked like he was enjoying himself.
And because he's Tom Brady, no one ever pointed it out. Because he's Tom Brady, and everyone just the man can do no wrong. However, the one thing I did notice is those shiny white Miami uniforms. They got their nice sponsor on there. But they're still in that freaking humidity, Susanna Collins, very see-through. The white t-shirt contest is on in Miami. Are you here for them kind of sticking to showing some skin all season? Like, I thought they would fix that. Like, we really showed. No.
Nah. So, because here's my thing. This is a huge missed opportunity for Inter Miami. I absolutely love their branding, the black and the pink. Like I think it's so sharp, it's so different. Yep. You had a real opportunity here to go, why not pink? Why not just own it and go like bright pink, full on, like Miami Vice? It would be so on brand. And the white just looks so like muted. And I remember seeing it last year in the first match, and then certainly on display in the MLS's back tournament when it was like crazy humidity. And and these poor guys are just like they're just like dripping. And these jerseys
you could see like their chest hairs and
I was
everything.
Like, you saw, like, there was, you knew that you could make an adjustment here. But I just think, how fly would it look to have like neon pink running around with the black shorts?
Neon, not
like,
the light. Okay.
Like, how awesome would that look? Like, just like go really, really bold. So I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I love their branding again, and I love the colors. I love the black jerseys. But the white ones, I just think look gross.
You know what? I
Gross.
wasn't here for it, but the more you talk about it, like, what's more Miami than a little see-through action?
Oh, well,
You know what? Just own it.
Okay, you know what else I'm here for?
What?
Precious moments. And so we, you know how we love a team photo, right? So before the matches, the guys like all gather, team photo. Dallas is taking their team photo. They're playing Colorado. Now,
Correct.
Michael Barrios was traded back in January from Dallas to Colorado. And these are two teams taking on each other. Obviously, his old team. He hopped in the team picture in his Colorado Rapids jersey, and the team all gathered around him. And then he ran and gave Lucci the biggest hug. Like, I thought Lucci was going to pick him up. I'm not kidding. It was so precious. And I was just like, that was such an unexpected, lovely moment. And it just made me smile. And I loved it so much. So I could not be, sometimes a party crasher or a photo bomber, I'm like, nah, get out. In this case, totally here for it.
Well, you know what? Like, I feel like especially right now in the world, like, that's the messaging that we need out there. And like, that's adorable. How could you not be here for just like giving a guy a little bit of love?
I know. It was really cute. It was really,
here for
really
it.
Sweet. Also, just like clearly has a great relationship with the team and Lucci. So it was precious and I loved it. Loved it very much. Okay, so we talk a lot about the fashion on here. It's kind of what we do. We also like to talk about soccer hair. This being one of my favorite subjects, and we had some new looks on display, Jill, this weekend. Guys, we're debuting some new.
Can we talk about the Higuain beard?
Oh,
that was hot. You talking about being hot.
But I kept thinking he looked like Tim Howard. It was like, I was kind of like,
it was slimming. I think
why
that's
is Tim
what
Howard
going
so far up? It was very, unexpected. Unexpected. That was a lot.
Sorry, I just threw that at you.
No, but that was
it was jarring when I saw it. I enjoyed it, but
some of the looks that stood out. Okay, we had some man buns on display. Antonio Alfaro and Maximo Morales both debuting kind of like a dyed like gray look, but the one that just really kind of threw me, Jill, was our good friend Nani. I don't know what the heck is going on here, but it almost looked like WWE hair. Like, it looked like a professional wrestler hair with this like little platinum blonde floof ball in the back, and I strongly dislike it.
For those of you that haven't seen it, it's basically just like slicked backness.
It's horrible.
And then like very frizzy, knotted up, and it's always flopping in the wind, and that's what bothers me. I sent you something on Instagram a couple weeks ago that was him on the boat, and the way that the man bun is flopping in the wind, it is too long, it is too much. Nani, and you know what everyone would love to know, though, when we did have Nani on here, is that I don't think it made the final edit. He was man bun free at this point. We've never had a guy tell us that, like, he's like, okay, the 10 minutes is up. Like, thanks so much. Goodbye. And we're like, oh my God, did Nani just like,
he set his own timer and was like, yep, okay.
I'm like, oh, we are that annoying right now to Nani. We really are. That's what I think of when I think of Nani, how lovely our little interview was with him, but that he also kept us honest on our time.
He did. He sure did. Listen, he's a busy guy, but clearly not busy enough doing his hair, because I highly disapprove of this.
But credit to him for coming on. You can keep us honest if you come on. We're fine with that.
But we'll also be honest about our thoughts on your hair, and I don't like it. So
it's an honest relationship. Us and Nani.
There you go. Oh my goodness. Oh, Jill, can we talk about our power rankings that we did last week? Because this turned into a thing. This is a thing.
So people really, really got into it with us of our top 10s. And I'll admit, I looked back at myself and was like, yeah, you're wrong on a few, especially my man, Jim Curtin. I mean, I gave him the number 1 spot, and he had like, his son, the glasses and the sweatshirt on. And I was like, Jim, I picked you for number 1, but I know what's going on here. Jim is a Philly. Like, Jim is Philly. Jim is a soccer mind. And he's like, I don't want anything to do with Jillian Sakovitz's power rankings. I got to throw her in week 1. Like, I got to get off this list. I want to focus on the game. I know that's what Jim was doing because he's just a real one.
Probably. Yeah,
because he let me down.
Jim really, he didn't want the focus to be on him, like that's exactly it. It wasn't his finest hour. We'll put it that way. He was my number 2. So like I had him like crazy high up there. I thought so our guy, there's a reason why Lucci is our king. If you guys saw this, I mean, he had the jacket, this kind of like plaid jacket on, the like the rolled up pants, even his socks were fire. Like I was like, this is why you won our Golden Hanger Award. Like you are, he can do no wrong. So Lucci was outstanding as we expected. Do you know who I loved, Jill? Do you know who did it right for me?
Who?
Greg Vanny.
You're a simple gal. He had a little crew cut and a t-shirt.
He just looked appropriate because it was hot in Miami, okay? And like he's going to be dealing with the Southern California sunshine as well. So this was an adjustment. We're used to seeing him with the scarf, bundled up, cold weather, Toronto, all of that. He looked so at home in the sunshine. He had the nice fitted tee with the little bit roll up on here. The haircut was like nice and clean and fresh. Like he looked like he belonged in the sunshine. And I thought you kept it simple. You knocked it out of the park, Greg Vanny. And his team won. So,
someone's that team didn't win, but that did impress and could crack my top 10 is on Austin FC manager Josh Wolf.
Yeah, he
just
looked
gonna throw that out there.
Looked great.
Yeah,
loved the button down.
We'll see if he cracks the power rankings. But speaking of Austin FC, we've got some Austin FC love for you coming up. But before we get to that, we have breaking news on this episode of the Call Up. And it's great for 2 reasons. But first is that Susanna Collins, I can confirm, is correct. And I'll let you tell her why.
I am correct. And this has been a long time coming. The validation that I feel right now is it's truly remarkable because last week when we went through our power rankings for our best dressed coaches, we were talking to Taylor Twellman about his best dressed coach, and we brought up Bob Bradley. Now, Bob Bradley did not make either one of our lists, our top 10. And my reasoning was because, and I said this to Taylor, was that I believe that he has help. I believe that LAFC has hired a stylist for him and therefore taking him out of contention because, I like to think that these guys are putting these outfits together themselves.
Oh, I didn't realize you could be disqualified from.
Oh yeah, no, that was my, this is an own personal.
No, good to know.
Disqualification. But we were tipped off, Jillian Sakovitz, by a source with knowledge. Okay, let's just say a source with knowledge of the situation, that LAFC indeed did hire a stylist for Bob Bradley. So I was right. My suspicions have been completely justified. Not kidding. For like 3 years, I have been like, there's something going on because it all started with a jacket. There was one jacket where I was like, that is a great jacket. Bob Bradley looks fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything like this. And it was like, there was just something fishy going on. And then I saw it again. He repurposed it. And I was like, there's a rotation. There is a stylist involved. And so we have been clued in that this is in fact a thing. And I'm just saying, Jillian Sakovitz, that, we should trust our instincts more because
I say, can we have Bob and his stylist on the show? I could use some help. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt.
So could most people. Let's be honest,
Bob plus stylist on the show.
Bob looks great. They did a great job. Good hire.
Also breaking at this hour is our Twitter poll. Susanna Collins has closed. We wanted the people's thoughts on who surprised them of our new coming coaches to the league. And yes, there are 5, but we narrowed it down. And our winner is, go figure, Gabrielle Einse, who was in just some Atlanta United athleisure wear. I'm I'm going to say he deserved it, but I'm also going to say that perhaps the Atlanta United fans got to their crazy little Twitter ways.
I see a trend happening. Whenever there's a
committed
poll involved, those Atlanta fans, man,
they're the best.
Crash that ballot box. Good for you. Good for you. Time now for AT&T 5G call to the field. Fresh off their first game in MLS history, we are so pleased to bring in MLS defender Ben Sweat. Ben,
Woo!
you and I, the last time that the three of us were all together, we were just joking. You were playing for NYCFC and we were doing a crossbar challenge and I was terrible. I think Jill was okay, but you won the whole thing. So this is a much better setting for me at least.
Well, he better win.
Exactly. I better win.
Pressure's off. Pressure's off. Pressure's off. How is life in Austin? What's going on?
No, it's great. It's a beautiful city. Great club. It's a great fan base here is unbelievable. So it's been a really warm welcoming for all of us players. We're excited.
You look like you've been getting some time in the sun. I said you look like you've been getting some time in the sun.
Glow.
Yeah.
I mean, it went from like coldest freeze I've ever been in to like hot, like so quick. So I'm like already getting my tan on, but no, it's beautiful here. My wife and I we're having a good time and really enjoying the city.
Oh, love to hear that. Cannot wait to get down there.
Yeah.
First things first, have you met part owner of Austin FC, Matthew McConaughey?
We did a Zoom call with him Friday.
Counts.
Yeah. Apparently he's been traveling back and forth, and his mom hasn't been fully vaccinated yet, so he's like taking care of his mom and just being smart with that. There's no rush with that. So we did a Zoom call and got to chat with him for a little bit and hear his passion with the club. So it was pretty cool.
He's the
guy.
I thought it was so funny that he's the minister of culture. Isn't that what a cool title?
I know. Frankie. That was Frankie Hiddick's title at Columbus Crew. So just
that makes sense. So there is a precedent.
Okay. Big shoes to follow there, Matt.
100%.
I know. Big shoes. Yeah, exactly.
You have now you've basically been a part of 3 expansion teams with NYCFC, Miami, and now Austin. What has it been like to kind of be, sort of right out of the gates, fresh with a brand new team that it has yet to create an identity? Because I feel like you're well versed in this now. What's the experience been like for you?
I mean, it's been different at every club, and it's kind of cool because I could take like a little bit from every club, take a little bit from New York, take a little bit from Miami. Although Miami was difficult last year with the whole COVID and quarantine kind of thing, so it wasn't even a normal season last year. So, but to take those experiences and bring them here to Austin, and to be back with some ex-teammates from New York or from Columbus, it's been really good. It's definitely something that I need to grow into as more of a leader, getting older. I'll be 30 this year, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Oh, man.
I know.
You're becoming an MLS veteran.
You're a baby.
Don't even talk about it. But to take that experience and help the younger guys and give feedback here and there, it definitely makes an impact.
Yeah, Taylor Twellman, I think it was, who said it on the broadcast, that it really felt like with Miami that like almost this past weekend was like their start to the season. Like there was just something last year that didn't feel like for them that it was a start to the year with everything that kind of went on. Okay, so in an expansion team, what is the most important thing? You've got a bunch of guys just moved to a new city. For you, what's the most important thing to kind of hit the ground running and not have that expansion team cloud that has clouded some MLS teams?
Man, I would say definitely getting the culture right off the bat. Getting everyone comfortable. Getting everyone bought into the system, bought into what the club is doing, what the coaching staff wants right away, and you're from there you're going to get the best out of everyone, individually and collectively. So that's something Austin's done really well. The stadium's beautiful here. The training facility is amazing. We got a great ownership. We got a great coaching staff, and they really brought in a bunch of good players with a lot of good personalities that really can kind of take control of that. You got your young guys, your older guys. It's a really good mix of guys, and I'm excited for this season.
What do you think is going to be sort of the identity of this Austin FC team? Because honestly, like again, LAFC is a very, very good team, and y'all stood your ground. It was a really, really solid performance. And so I feel like it was just like this little taste of what we're going to get. But, it seemed like this was a team that Josh Wolf has put together. Like you have an identity. So I want to hear it in your words. Like, what is the identity of this Austin FC team?
I mean, we want to be a good football team. We want to play a good, attractive football, and as well as going forward and attacking a lot. We want to be solid in the back and defend well. I think we played a good game versus LAFC. Obviously, we give up a crappy deflection goal, and then we're pushing forward late in the game, and we give up a transition goal, and I think we had our fair share of chances that could have put us ahead or put us even with LAFC, but like you said, it's only the start, and it was a good start and a good standard for the first inaugural match. It's super exciting, and to have traveling fans there as well, it's special, and we're definitely gonna play a good style of football this year. We're gonna score a lot of goals this year.
You mentioned the style and the team. Can you kind of give us the Ben Sweat scouting report of Austin FC? Like, let's literally start in the back and like work our way up. Like, we need to know this team. I think our listeners and us included.
I don't know, man. There could be like other teams listening in and writing notes. I don't know how much I want to say.
Catching intel.
Right. No, but I mean, from Brad all the way to the forward, like everybody's got to be technically sound, like have the ability to play out of the back, play in mid block, play in a high block. And when we don't have the ball, we want a high press and we want the ball back. Josh is very adamant. The coaching staff is very adamant. We want the ball. We want to dictate the game, control the game. So when we don't have the ball, it's pressing, getting the ball back. But then the collective unit, defending all the way from Danny Hosen all the way back to Brad, defending everyone together. And I think we have all the right pieces from all the starting 11 we played with this past Saturday. And then the next 11, it has the same capabilities. So we definitely have a deep squad.
I know you're pretty familiar with Josh Wolf, so it wasn't like this was a stranger to you, but this is his first head coaching job.
Yeah.
He's sort of been in and around the game for years, and certainly the connection with Greg Berhalter and Columbus and all of that. But what are your sort of takeaways as him as a head coach? Like, what has kind of struck you about Josh's style?
I guess just to see him fired up and see him really get into it and yell at us. As an assistant coach at Columbus and with the men's national team, you maybe would see little glimpses of it, but he's a really tactile guy, really intelligent guy. But now to see him like get on us and yell at us and tell us this and that, it's good. He's got a lot of passion, and it's good to see him express it the way he does.
Ben, this may sound like a really basic question, but we've gotten some interesting insight into guys in the past when we've gone here. Ben Sweat, how did you get into soccer? And 2, did you always play as a defender, or did that come?
Oh, these are good questions. So I think like anyone, you kind of grew up playing it. I played soccer and baseball all the way, I think, my sophomore year of high school. Hung up the baseball glove, stuck to soccer, and once I started getting like college attention, universities, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to be a professional athlete. I didn't know which sport it was going to be, but I guess I stuck with soccer. Went to the University of South Florida, and did well and just kept excelling from there. And to answer your other question, I actually used to be in high school. I was a forward, so I was scoring all the goals. And then even my freshman year of college, I played attacking mid and started to slowly transition to left back when I was with U20s my freshman year of college, and stuck with left back ever since. And kind of I'm getting a little bit into center back, a little bit here and there, mixed in as well.
How was that transition? Because I've spoken to enough defenders to know that like there was a part of them that still wanted to be up front and scoring goals, but then you realize where you're most valuable, and you kind of like are like, okay,
Right.
this is where I'm going to actually get to play. But is there still that part of you that's like, man, put me up there, like I want to knock some in, like
Yeah,
let me go.
there is, yeah, no doubt. And we talk about it all the time, us defenders, because at the end of the day, like if we give up a goal, no matter how good of a game we are, like the defenders, the goalkeepers, we're always the ones the fingers pointed at and criticized. So I always think about like, what if I was on the other side of it? What if I was like getting pressure to score goals rather than like having these guys like Carlos defending Carlos Vela and like all these defenders like coming at me and then giving up a potential goal. So I do think about it sometimes. But no, I love what I do and I love the position I play.
You mentioned Carlos Vela, and that just makes me have to ask you. I mean, you got to go up against the guy in week 1, and I'm bummed as the Atlanta United sideline reporter that like everyone wanted to see Atlanta go up against Austin, and you guys aren't on the schedule. So like, but aside from that, who do you think is the MVP at the end of the year? Because we are making baseless predictions like everyone else.
They make us do it.
Yeah, they make us do it, so we're gonna make you do it. Like, who are you thinking is gonna be MVP?
I don't know. It's tough. There's a lot of good players. Obviously you can't overpass like Carlos Vela and players like that. But I think Zella Rayon from Columbus Crew is a phenomenal player. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it could be any one of these guys. We're finally going to get a 34-game season this year, so it's going to be interesting. God. Yeah, thank God, and some fans. So it's going to be interesting to see who really steps up this year.
Can you give us the intel on Pochettino? Because this is a guy that is getting a lot of buzz about newcomer of the year, potentially. I mean, how good is he now that you've played with him? Like you've seen this guy in action. What are your thoughts?
No, he's definitely one of our playmakers. Him and Cecilio Dominguez. There are two starlights going forward in the attack, as well as Rodney Redis. And he's an exciting player, man. Let's see, he's taken 2 free kick. Let's put it this way: every free kick I've seen him take, he's put in. I haven't seen him miss a free kick outside of the box yet. So I'm sure when he gets one lined up, hopefully he does what we've seen all preseason long. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's a good player.
Yes. I can't wait till that happens, and then both Jill and I are going to be like, Ben Sweat told us that.
He called it.
He called it, right?
literally told us that.
Ben, is it true that you have a clothing line?
I do. I have a small little. So I was born and raised on the water, huge fisherman. So I always had a little passion to have my own little fishing line. So I did start back in New York, just a small little brand. Have some hats, some T-shirts, just some performance stuff from when I'm out in the water and everything.
What's the name?
Twin Tails Outfitters.
How'd you get? What's Twin Tails?
I don't know. I can't even explain how I came up with the name. I was sitting in my room one day, kind of thinking, coming up with ideas. Had a notebook filled with everything, and I just saw a picture and saw the reflection of a tail over the water. It showed 2 tails kind of thing. So I don't know, just popped in the head and kind of stuck with it. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you.
as I grew up in a fishing family, so it speaks to my heart. I love that. How have you found places? Because Austin, you can fish in Austin, right? There's a big lake.
Yeah.
There's
really
river and stuff. Yeah. So have you ventured out?
I haven't yet. I mean, our schedule is just finally calmed down. Preseason was pretty hectic, long days, and the weather's just finally getting warm and nice. So I'm sure I'll get some time here soon. I know the guys keep bugging me about it and want to get out with me, so we'll definitely make it happen. And Yeti's our main sponsor, so we have to definitely do something with Yeti. So I'm excited.
Right.
Exactly.
Before, when I used to, I had a show called BTW, and when you were with NYCFC, we were trying to figure out a way for you and I to go fishing together, for an episode, and then it never.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that actually. Yeah,
I know.
We were excited for that.
Oh, I was so stoked. So maybe we'll make it happen.
You know what happened? I know. He beat us in the crossbar challenge, and he's like, "Oh no, though. Susanna Collins might catch a bigger fish than me. I am not signing up for this." Ben Sweat, before we let you go, we want to get to know the Austin FC locker room just like everybody else. So we are going to do some rapid fire get to know the locker room with you. First up, who makes the game playlist?
To be honest, I think it's actually Pochettino was on the game day playlist the last game. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there.
Pochettino. Good to know. Who is the biggest fashionista on the team?
I would say Hector Jimenez. I would say Hector Jimenez or Cecilio Dominguez. Yeah.
Not who I was expecting you to say, but
Okay.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it was a little surprise. Yeah.
If you were to win MLS Cup, who would throw the after party? Or plan
Matthew McConaughey, for sure.
Best
Right?
answer ever.
No pressure, Matt.
No
God,
pressure.
you know, can you even imagine? Like, he'd bring his Airstream, he'd bring his bongos.
Susie, get ourselves fired because we would be so into getting that on the call.
I would crash that party so hard. I would find a way.
We'd sacrifice our jobs.
Yeah, you
Ben,
guys are
who would you bring on a fishing trip? Which teammate?
Diego Fagundes and Nick Lima.
I love Nick Lima.
Who is the big brother?
The big brother? Oh, I would have to say Mr. Beasley. Mr. Beasley is the big,
Bees.
for sure, Bees.
Guys, he's been around, man. What a ledge that guy is.
Yeah, what a legend, exactly.
It's kind of weird seeing him in an Austin jersey. It's just like he was so synonymous with Kansas City, and it's like, oh my god,
We'll get used to it.
I know. It's wild. It's just a wild transition because he's been around for so long. Love that guy. Who is the biggest prankster in the locker room?
The biggest prankster, Kekuta Mane.
Kakuta!
Yeah, he's a class clown.
I can see that. He's got a funny little personality. That one. I can totally see that.
Who's the bookworm?
The bookworm? Man, the bookworm. Put me on the spot here. You know, I have to say
Ben's like, I don't think anyone reads. No.
Maybe
it's all podcasts. I know. It's podcasts in 2021.
Let's
I know.
see. Maybe Brady Scott, maybe Brad Stuver.
All right, we'll check back.
Yeah, one of the goalkeepers for sure.
Love that. Oh man. Well, Ben, it was amazing to catch up with you. Thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck this season. We cannot wait to get down to Austin. It's gonna happen.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was good seeing you.
Big thanks to Ben Sweat, and you can catch him in Austin FC this weekend, taking on the Colorado Rapids. If they're wearing their mint green, that is going to be a lot of different shades of green, sister. I'm excited to see.
Do you know what I'm excited for?
What?
We're going to see the black and green striped Verde Austin jerseys, I bet. I'm excited for that. And
that's why you make the big box. You can catch that on ESPN Plus and Altitude. Full slate of games coming your way Friday. You got Sporting Kansas City and Orlando on FS1, Fox Deportes, and TSN. For the full schedule, you can always head to MLSsoccer.com and the MLS app. And I'm really excited from a selfish standpoint that Atlanta United's first game on Bali's South will be on. So I am going back to work. I cannot wait. They're taking on Chicago at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's been a long wait, sister. Like we said,
exciting.
120 plus days. Jeez,
I know.
Louise.
I know. No, it's going to be great to see you back doing your thing behind the desk, on the sidelines. It's like, like we're getting there. We're slowly.
And I'm going to take you with me at some point.
Back to normal. Please do. I know. You need to get out of this apartment. Guys, thank you so much. We want to hear from you because I feel like we got some great traction this weekend when we put out some tweets about our power rankings, the coaches, the outfits, all of that. And
we love you guys.
I know. And I love that you guys were like tweeting at us like, hey, did you see this? And so like, more of that, please.
You're also, like all the little production assistants and friends. It's amazing.
You are making the show for us. You make it much easier for us. But also, like, if there are guests that you think would be great for this show, please tweet at us. Let us know who you want to hear from this year because we honestly, anything's on the table. We're open and we're ready. So
we're open and available.
Let us know. But thanks as always for listening, for watching. Thank you, Ben Sweat. Great to catch up with him. And guys, enjoy another week and another weekend of MLS action. Heck yeah, baby. What's up, everybody? It is Susanna Collins and Jillian Sakovitz, co-hosts of The Call Up. And if you want more Call Up action, hit like and subscribe right here on YouTube, right there.
And also make sure that you download every episode of The Call Up every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time or anywhere that you get your podcasts. And while you're here, why not check out some of these other videos as well?